Hello, welcome to the God Principles. Have you ever wondered how to escape self-limiting beliefs? Where did they come from? How do you find them and correct them? This video is about my actual experiences in discovering and escaping the subconscious mind. My name is Charles Davis. I'm a addiction recovery coach, a life coach, spiritual coach, personal brand strategist, and I'm a recovered drug addict. The process that I'm about to tell you is my actual story of going through aspects of the recovery process. After the drugs are gone, then what? We go through a process to discover why we did what we did. We discover that once we come to a level of consciousness, we start to delve into the subconscious mind. You may know this as Freudian slips are from the subconscious mind. I was very interested in discovering how did I end up in the situation that I ended up going through drug addiction. What I found was very, very important. That's why I'm sharing it with you today on YouTube. We have a process that we go through to discover what's in the subconscious mind. It goes like this. It says, write what is bothering you now. Don't think about it. Pray and write and keep writing. There's no wrong way to do this. There's nothing too long about this process. So I did that. I just started writing. I was writing about what was bothering me now. I didn't think about it. I just wrote it. Once I had finished that part of the process, something startling came in at the end. I was writing about a relationship, and what I meant to write was, why would she love me? Instead, I wrote, who would love me? An entirely different meaning. There was something in my subconscious mind that I didn't know was there. More importantly, when I looked at what I wrote, it started at the age of 7 and went through my last relationship at the age of 40. And they were all my romantic relationships in my life. That was a surprise. It's like, What was startling was where the relationships before the age of 7. They were missing. That's an important thing to note. When I went into further study and writing in the process, it came into a section in the book that talks about what you've just written. And the book said this. It said, most people wrote about their romantic relationships. I say, huh? How do they know that I'm going to write about my romantic relationships? This is in a book. And that's exactly what I did. But then it goes on to say that your intimate relationships have been a parody and a sham. I said, okay, now we're going with this. So we start to look at the relationships in our life with our mother, our father, institutions, and a lot of different aspects of regular life, and see how that affected us and what do we carry in our subconscious about those things. In my particular case, we looked at what happened before the age of 7. Hello, I'd like to welcome you to the God Principles, and I want to thank you for watching my content. My goal is to reach up to 1 million people with the spiritual, physical, and emotional truth. But I need your help. Giving is a form of love. Could you give my content a like, comment, or share, and subscribe to the channel? It would help me out greatly. I'm coming to you live from the Philippines, and my intent is to provide you spiritual information. It is November 1st, and the noise that you're hearing outside are people celebrating Halloween. The world is going into a strange time, and the God Principles was created for just this time. Thank you. I had heard another recovering person share about their relationship with their mother and how that led into certain ways of behaving and acting that eventually led to drug addiction. In my mind, I noticed the similarity. All right, it says me too. It's like, wait a minute. If his relationship with his mother led to his problems with addiction and relationships, I had already knew that there had to be some effect of the death of my mother. I didn't have that relationship. So there was something key and critically missing to my personality, and it had planted something in my subconscious mind. At the age of 4, my mom passed in Michael Reese Hospital in Chicago. They inadvertently gave her penicillin and she was allergic to it, and she passed. She was in the hospital for childbirth for the 3rd child. When that call came into the house, my dad let out a yell that would wake the dead. Realize now, I'm 4 years old, right? I'm emotionally incapable of dealing with what's going on, but it's traumatized me. I was 4 years old. I was raised by my dad, and even more importantly was, during that time period, normally a child would be soothed by their mother. There was no one there to soothe that trauma. I've grown up with it. As a matter of fact, when I went into treatment at the age of 62, there was a study done of people who had gone through those type of situations. They had their life story, and then they looked at the cadaver and they put them under the microscope. They discovered that those early childhood traumas that went unsoothed were actually embedded in our nervous system. That is something medical science hadn't even discovered when I first started having these problems. That's one of the reasons I'm sharing it now. But anyway, it goes deeper than that. So now I know in the subconscious mind that I'm looking for love in my mature relationships, but here's the problem. I don't have a role model. Looking for love like that without the love to learn how to love yourself and know how to recognize love in someone else, that's like looking for a needle in a haystack and not knowing what a needle look like. How am I going to find something like that? It's caused me nothing but pain and heartache in my life. It's like I'm looking for love by trial and error, and everything is an error. Error in this relationship, how to have healthy boundaries. All that stuff was missing. All of it. More importantly, now I'm in part of the process of dealing with the inner child. You'll hear about this. That's real. That inner child is a damaged version of your personality and your spirit. And through meditative processes, I was able to get in touch with my inner child. During that meditation process, I was able to interrogate that child. I would ask it questions like, why are you here? And I would actually have a response that says, I'm here to protect you. It had actually caused a form of my introversion on a subconscious level. It made me withdraw because it was unprotected. During that critical moments of my childhood, it is now subconsciously directing choices in my life, trying to fulfill its need of who would love me. And it has caused me nothing but problems because I didn't have the proper female validation. Number one, I was raised by an aunt. She had no children. Number two, my dad remarried. He remarried a woman that didn't have no children. And what I further would learn is that our nurturing abilities only get activated when we have our own children. I can personally attest to that because I have a son. So I do know that my nurturing ability to take care of a child was triggered with the birth of my son. But I still have incomplete training or information on how to heal myself. Now here's the amazing thing about this. This is why I put this on the God principles. When I was 38, 39, I was in a relationship with a young lady. She got caught up in drugs, and I went in to try to help her. There's some other parts to the story, and you'll have to look at other videos that I'm going to put in here, but this is what I did. Before I went in to help her, I said a prayer to God. I said, God, I'm about to make a decision. I don't know if it's going to be right or wrong. I'm going to put the results in your hands. Just don't let it be a mistake. That was my prayer. So at this point, I've gone through 22 years of drug addiction. And now God then brought me to this point in my life, and He's answering that prayer. He's answering it. I come into recovery broken like that. And they suggest that you get someone to help you of the same gender. I tried that. It didn't work. But to show you how God will work, we have a saying that I use, and I'll probably use it till the day I die. There was this man in a hole, and he was calling out, "Help, help." And this carpenter came by the hole. He heard him calling out, and he yelled out, "I'm going to get a ladder. I'll be right back." He waited, and he was still calling, "Help, help." And then this monk came by. He said, "I'll be right back. I'm going to get some brothers and a rope. I'll be right back." Then this other person comes by and he's calling out, and "Help, help." But this person jumps in the hole. And the man tells that person, "What you jump down here for? Now we both are stuck down here." And that person said, "Follow me. I know the way out." That was the person that helped me in my recovery. And it was a woman. The only one in the world that could have fixed what was wrong with me was a woman. Because the brokenness in my personality came from the lack of validation from a female source that I trusted. Because the child trusts their parents. I would trust my mother. This woman developed a level of trust and helped me work through these issues. All right? And to figure out why I had just tried to commit suicide in my life. Because you can't say that you love yourself. I've tried to commit suicide from depression caused by the nerve damage. I feel feelings on a deep level. You can't say you love yourself if you're smoking cigarettes. And there are other issues such as in my childhood, my father and his wife, his stepmother, used to argue at the dinner table. So my body is conditioned to soothing its feelings while eating food. And it's part of my coping mechanism that I've had to correct through the recovery process. These are the kind of things that I've experienced, learned, and it helps me to be an addiction recovery coach, but it also helps me to be a life coach, a spiritual coach, personal brand strategy coach, because these issues exist in everybody. It doesn't just manifest itself in drug use, self-doubt, lack of confidence. All of these things contribute to the type of life you live or don't live, because your subconscious mind is directing them. I'm available for life coaching, addiction coaching, and personal brand strategy coaching. I'm going to leave the links in the description. You can schedule a personal call with me, or you can go to my website and sign up for the Spiritual Sanity newsletter. And also, I'm going to be coming out with an app that can guide you through spiritual sanity on a regular basis. Thank you for watching. My name is Charles Davis of the God Principles, and I'm truly grateful for the God of my understanding.